What's going on, investors? Dust here from Investments, and it looks like my camera is not working again. Let me just fix some things. Give me 2 seconds. Let's get some music too. Let me know if that's too loud or if that's even coming through at all. Maybe it's not. Try some different things here. Hey, that is desktop audio device. Speakers, these, right? Yeah, there it is. Okay, so let me know if that's too loud. Try to turn that down a little bit, and let's get the camera going here. Promise I'll get this all working better at some point here. NVIDIA broadcast camera, there I am. Close that, deactivate that, activate that, and there it is. See, I know how to fix it. It's just got to do it every time apparently. Let's get some better light going on too here. Beautiful. All right, so let's open up this chart here while we chit chat. So one of the things I want to start broadcasting is my underlying message, right? Like I want to start getting into why I'm doing what I'm doing and the reason for that. And what I'm here to do is I'm trying, and I want everyone else to become financially independent in their own ways, right? And one of the methods for me achieving that is going to be trading, most likely. It's just one of those things where it's, I don't know if you call it a strong suit, but I'm better at buying things at the lows than some people are, I guess, right? So it's one of my tools in my toolbox that I plan on using to achieve that. There's a couple other ones that I also am working on at the same time. But you know, this is one that I feel like I could at least easily make content on. Some of the other ones are going to be, I want to in the future. So you're just with me on the road for this, on this journey for me to achieve financial independence, and hopefully you guys too, right? Like hopefully this isn't just for me. Hopefully you're getting some sort of value out of this as well. One of the things I was noticing is, oops, and that's a fib channel. I just want a regular channel. Where the hell is that? Parallel channel, here we go. So noticing we might be in somewhat of a channel here. Why don't I have alerts set up for this price? Sometimes things get weird here. I'm gonna start deleting some of these lines we got from olden days, right? I'm leaving this green one because that's a rather important one. And I'm also going to leave that bottom one. We can delete. Yes, let's go ahead and delete that. Anyways, so one of the things we're noticing with Bitcoin is obviously Bitcoin being the dominant driver of this market. You want to see it continue onward, because if it does roll over, things are going to cascade downward, and that's not what you want to see for the altcoins. So one of the most important things to watch, right? And one of the things we're seeing is that it actually looks like it's partially starting to roll over. If you look at the MACD, the momentum is seeming like it's starting to roll back down to the negative side, which is not great considering you have a little bit of bearish divergence going on here, where you got this the price and the MACD here diverging as you get the lower high here, or higher low. Yeah, so not looking great on this situation, but I was just taking a gander at it, and it looks like we might actually just be in a parallel channel. If that is the case, we could potentially see something easily like this and continue onward into that parallel channel. You could potentially see a bounce a couple times. Who knows what will happen with that, but I'm just saying there is potential downside here. And even if it does drop to this level, I would say you're not too crazy lost at that point, you know? Like, you're still above your breakout level, you're still above this low, and I think as long as that holds, I'd feel a little more confident in it, right? Could you draw? No, I don't think so, not yet. You also seeing that the volume's starting to slow down a little bit, so just seems like momentum's kind of shifting a little bit, but it might just be a temporary thing and roll back over again. I want to make a separate video talking about this topic, but in a higher interest rate environment, which we are entering or already in, I guess, I think that's going to be sustained for a while, and I don't think assets that are more risky, such as Bitcoin, are going to do as well as other assets, just due to the fact that if you have money that you are willing to invest, why would you put it into something that's so risky and volatile when you could easily get a nice safe return on something like a bond, right? You're just going to see some more of that money be pulled into less risky assets like bonds and, you know, all those old school 90s investment tools like CDs, and, you know, have a high interest savings rate in your savings account. Those are going to become valid again in these high interest environments, and what that's going to do is this is going to suck the liquidity out of these markets, in my opinion. And it's just, things are not going to be as crazy as they were, right? Like, you're not going to get companies buying Bitcoin. I don't know if that's going to work on a global scale. I know for my opinion is that is going to be a contributing factor. Again, I also don't know what the macroeconomic scale will look like long term if things continue to show strength and they have to wane it by increasing the interest rates and keep them elevated. That would be contributing to that, right? Go on a little tyrant there, or a little rant, sorry. So we got swing high to swing low. Looking on the daily, I mean, we could easily see I had this green line marked as a 382, and I also noticed that there is multiple touches of previous support at this level, and that is the 2900, let's call it 2900 level. Would be fantastic to get above that. That would show a lot of support and strength there. I honestly don't think we will see the $16,000 level again. I feel like we are way past these two levels, so the $16,000 and $17,000 level I think are in our rear view mirror. If we were, it would be a brief touch before continuing onward. I think realistically Bitcoin has found support at this level and said, you know what, I haven't seen this since 2020. We're not hanging out down here too long. So let's look at some other ones real quick before we move on. And let's ping the Discord. I forget to do that every single time. Everyone, live right now, join up. And I will actually, I think the link is in the bio here, so if you want to join up on the Discord, I highly recommend it. Just would love to have more people hang out, love to have new ideas, and if you have coins you want to look at, let me know in the comments. Even if it's you're watching this after the fact, which I don't think a lot of people do. I don't think a lot of people watch me in general. But this is more like a trading journal, so it doesn't matter. Just trying to get my ideas out. Like I said, trying to build that financial independence at some point. So let's continue to work for that. T-Fuel, we were saying looks fantastic for some reason, which is it's a secondary token, so I really hate the fact that I want to buy it. But it looks good. I don't know what to tell you. Let's get on let's go to the weekly and see if we can find that candle. Yeah. I don't think Fib's gonna play out yet. Not yet, because you only had the wick there. If you wanted to draw wick to wick, you could do that. That would work. Okay, so Fib's active, and you could potentially see it's a valid Fib. So let's say, I mean, okay, so let's pretend you're doing it from here. What the fuck? Oh, what did I do? I copied that wrong. Control copy, control paste. I just want to do it from here. So again, we like to say that this is the it's one of the things I learned from watching some other streamers. Primarily I watch a lot of Mitch Ray, and if you don't, I highly recommend that. It's much better than I would ever be, so don't waste your time here. If you only get time to do one, much prefer you watch him, because you get probably much more value out of that. But one of the things he likes to say is, if you get a valid Fib, meaning that you can get either the candle close top to the candle close bottom, or the wick top to the wick bottom, it has to be the same on both sides. Can't pick and choose, right? So as long as you're doing the both, if you can do a Fib from a swing high to a swing low and you hit that 236, it's a valid Fib, meaning that you could potentially see a nice retrace, right? So a very common retrace is the 382. Again, building off that is the 50% level, and then the 618. These are very easy obtainable retrace levels using the Fib, right? So if you were to just do that, you could potentially see 94%, 140%, and 181% gains off the current levels. I'm going to zoom in again. I there's emotion involved with this, right? Because I know the fact that it's a secondary token, so why would it pump like this? But you kind of have to throw your fundamental analysis aside when you're looking at charts and stuff like that. So I don't see anything different that I didn't see before. Let's look back on the daily here. High, lower high. Okay. So yeah, still like that one. Have not taken that trade because I'm just skeptical, but the upside potential is there. So I don't know. Theta does look. What were we saying here? So we were able to do no, we weren't able to validate this Fib yet, right? Because the same rules here. So we did this preemptively, and I'm going to delete these still because we're not there yet. But you do have where was it? Let's go to weekly. I think it was on the weekly. Was it on the weekly? I don't remember. your supply line's broken, right? So you're like most of these, you're kind of turning around at this point, and it's just overall building higher and higher. This is what you want to see, and you're above the daily 200. So that's a good site as well. Turn on the cross. You're positive, right? So your momentum has swung into the positive direction. RSI does look like it might be starting to, or I'm sorry, the MACD does start looking like it's rolling over. But I think that's more of the macro, right? Like I think that has to do with Bitcoin rolling over too. So can we draw a parallel channel on this one as well? Am I seeing that properly? Not so much. It's okay, but you could potentially see some downside, right? I don't think this is in a very important level. I think the important level was this previous high here. So one of the things we always like to do is we always like to look left at important levels, right? So you can see this is a very important level where it came down, gave a couple touches there, but it's also correlating to the 2000 level where it served as resistance on its way up, and then it was unable to break above that for some time until around December of 2020, where it broke above there, and then now it's coming back to test that in 2022, right? And now has fell below that, but just briefly before breaking higher. So I would say this is an important range here between 71 and 80 cents. Continuing higher, I would say. You do have this little, very little scrub little formation right here. That is not much of anything. So I don't think that holds much weight. Let's see where your next area would be. Come on, leggy ass computer. Had it drawn right here-ish. But ooh. Let's take a look at this. Let's continue onward. Amazon, let's say we have room to the downside again, looking like a small head and shoulders on the daily. Don't like what I'm seeing. This scuffed up left shoulder, maybe not. I could just see more downside. We marked $80.50 as a very important level, serving as previous resistance and previous support multiple times, and in the recent time frame of December showing as support. So I don't think, well, I think that will hold. Let's just hope that it doesn't have to get retested beforehand. T-Mobile is a trade that I've been in for quite a while, and I believe I caught it somewhere down here, and I didn't have any real technical pattern that triggered me to do it. I just liked the fundamentals of it, and also the overall structure of it just seemed to be trending upwards and to the right. So it's okay to have different strategies. For me, that one was a strategy where it was like, okay, I think the fundamentals are strong enough to where I don't need a signal, and the chart looks decent to back that up, right? XRP, we are still in this parallel channel here. Does look good, continuing to build higher, continuing to build higher lows each time, even building higher highs each time now. Just waiting for people to buy it. You're gonna have Bitcoin continue on, otherwise you are probably gonna fall to this 34 cent level, if not even further, depending on what happens with Bitcoin. EOS, So let's see what that pullback looks like, because we missed the boat on this one, and it was one of those where we were watching the insider buying happening, and just never took action on it. And look at that. Oh jeez. So when you draw the fib, it's actually your supply line here. Look at that. And it's broken above there with a back test prior to breaking out. Your fib is a valid fib at that level. Has tested the 236, and you're gonna continue onward. This is, I think you're beyond actionable at this level, right? The pullback was negated. I think at best case you're gonna see a 50% gain. More likely in the near term you see 10%. Yeah, so those are 50% would be your next stop, which would be at this peak, I would think at 335. After that you're talking about 480. I don't know if this holds any value, but you got something between 7 and 8 here. And then the real value you want to get above is 1003. Yeah, really missed the boat on that one. Shit. Alien Worlds TLM, looking good. Looking like you're building these higher lows that we like to see. Even getting higher highs, right? We are on the 4 hour, so that's not much shit, but higher volume coming in too on these buys. Like to see that. You're above the 200. Like to see that. MACD a little undecided on what it's doing right now. You really, there's not much here though. Like, even if you drew a fib, you're still not to that 236 level yet. Can you draw it from here? Yes, you have hit that one from there. Okay, let's see what that looks like from where we're at. 50, 80, 110% at best, right? But there's nothing there to stop you, at least structurally, right? You could potentially go up to 8 cents. This might be a nice one. This might be a nice one. RSI is a little high. You'd probably like to see that reset before you take any action, so it doesn't look like it's really at an actionable level at the moment. Don't like this one. It looks like it is rolling back over with a lower low being put in. Important level for this, as you can see, December last year, and it hit again 2021. Okay, so this is a newer coin. 2021. Important level for it, whereas previous resistance turned support and still maintaining support. Just don't like that formation, and it looks like it just kind of shit the bed here. I'll keep my eye on it though. Let's look at our active trade PAA that we put out. Not looking too fantastic, but I know a lot of stocks didn't do well today, so it's not looking real bad, just not looking real great. Nothing to really do here but sit around and wait. You're still above your breakout level, so there's nothing really to worry about. But we were seeing, I will zoom out so I can explain this to you. We were seeing a nice Elliott wave structure, which I don't really have a lot of weight in Elliott wave, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you got the nice big ABC correction to that all-time low, which actually happens to correlate. If you look at it, the low from 2020 correlates to this low here in December 1999. So it's a very, very long time correlation, but it was support at that level and it remains support again. So we're looking for a nice turnaround. And then you saw this nice formation forming and you're getting a nice breakout above there. You're also getting a little more positive volume coming in, just more green than negative. You'd like to see a couple more big bars of green volume showing that it's really going to break out and continue to carry it onward. We were looking at 23 to 50% gain, and how were we marking that? We were marking that from our fib, from the swing high to the swing low, and that was our 50% retrace. So potentially could see that. So we'll sit in that trade for a little bit. Okay, XLM. Yeah. You're building higher. I like that, but you were negated by that 200-day EMA, so you don't like to see that. I mean, it touched it and they said, nah, and not happening yet. You are starting, we're on the 4-hour, so this is not very valid, but you're starting to build a little bit of a line that you'd want to hold. You're at a semi-key level on the short term, right? Well, I mean, not currently, but you're above it at the 8-cent mark, 8.2. Let's see what you look like on the weekly here. Not seeing anything real critical going on with that level. Yeah, not looking great. I do want to look at the Bitcoin dominance. So Bitcoin dominance, I would say this looks like it's going to continue higher. I think there's going to be a lot more people coming into the large cap coins as opposed to these altcoins. So the people that are coming in are going to go for those big names as opposed to like jumping into these altcoins, and it just makes sense. You know, a lot of people that I've talked to, like, oh yeah, in this down market I'm just gonna stick to the big names. 0x looking good. Actually, it looks pretty damn good. You got a continuation of the higher lows being put in, and you're also building higher highs. You'd like to see it stay above that previous high, the local high on February 7th, but there is no reason. Well, you actually have quite a few touches at this level too. You got multiple here, 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 and not so much there. But it's showing that this level that it's staying above, that where that candle wick hit, is a semi-critical level, right? And it's showing that 0x is probably going to continue as long as Bitcoin doesn't roll over, like a lot of these. Shiba, probably same story. Yep, building up. I won't go too much into that one, but that one looks fantastic as well. Looked better before this big ass breakout, but as long as Bitcoin continues onward, we are going to be looking good. Okay. This is kind of what we were looking for. Actually, this is not what we were looking for. You're falling right now. So one of the things we were looking at, something like Intel to have happen, is we want to see some of this money that's coming from the government, basically trying to stimulate what do you call it, chip manufacturing, right? So they're trying to stimulate chip manufacturing in the US, and I think Intel is going to be a nice play. And one of the reasons I really want this one particularly is just because of the key levels it's hitting at $24.50 basically. Like if you look at all these previous touches, I mean, some of these touches that dates back to 1997, support at 1999, you know, like it's a pretty important level. So we are starting to see a double top. I wouldn't even call it a double top. It's looking like it's rolling over, to be honest. Not looking great. One of the trades I'm going to be taking is GE. Actually, I requested on Mitch's channel today. But you just have this long continued downtrend that is starting to reverse, and you actually have a nice inverse head and shoulders here appearing on the weekly, and just looking overall really strong for a some sort of upside potential here. I think realistically you could probably continue onward. I think this is your next stop here, where you get multiple touches. You get a touch here, touch here, touch here, touch here, where it's actually playing around, and that's at 120. So you're talking close to double your money off that one. I mean, we could do an analysis, but you basically, let's get the price to date. You want to take your neckline, wrong fucking tool. I don't like that one. You want to take from your neckline to the top of the head. Copy that, paste that, and put that on top of your neckline, and that should give you your target, which is about 37%. Correlates to about that level where we're talking about 127. So I would probably put my sell order around there, so 33%. If I were to do that, definitely going to be taking that trade. Note to self, buy some GE. Nokia, we were seeing something similar. It's not really the same, considering you got this low here. You got a little bit of a, you're not at the neckline yet. It is also a situation, right? But you do have this long extended downtrend. You got a nice ABC correction here. You're talking about key levels again that this is just building off of. This is a real important one at $4 some odd change, where you have multiple touches here, 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 and showing that it's supporting here. He had a momentary breakdown below that, but then quickly regained and continuing to show that it is supported there. So your high to low, if you were to break that neckline, you're looking at 66%, which correlates to probably right around these two tops, where you got one here, drop from the A level here to show that it was support, and then resistance on the downtrend here. You're talking about 2011, 2004, and 2000 or 1999. So these are long-term key levels, and that's at 1150. So I would set my sell at 1030-ish and call it a day. you're beating that, and there's no reason why you have to scale out of all your position, right? 66% gain. You sell half your position and you're still in profit on that point. So no problem with that. Yeah, so I'm gonna take a quick look through some of these. Tezos looks like it's breaking out and pulling back. Let's go to the daily on some of these. Actually, I'm gonna go to the 8. Let's go for 12 hour. Rejected the 200. Is that accurate? Yeah. Algo, same thing. A lot of these are looking exactly the same, to be honest. ETC, like, I haven't looked at this chart. I don't know when the fuck the last time was. And look how important that line is. Important that is. And it's showing that it's support still at this level. You're building higher lows. Higher highs aren't really happening too much. I don't like it. Personal opinion. ADA is potentially starting to turn around, right? I'm sure if you did this on the weekly, it'd look much better. You're broken out of that, but you are resetting back to the 200. So you're dropping right down to that level. You would like to see that continue as support, and you would like to see it bounce from there and continue onward and break above that 42-cent level, which is clearly an important level. If you look left, where it showed it was support here, support here, support here, support here. I bet if you look, there's nothing else. Oh yeah, so resistance here and resistance here. So you're talking about levels from 2018 that are still in play, right? So you really got to get above that 42-cent level. Ethereum, I don't really look at this one, and I don't know why. I need to add this to my list because it's one of those big market cap coins, and it's a very important player in the field, because considering how many coins are built on Ethereum, like if you want to own crypto, you better own Ethereum. It's like owning a pick and shovel store in a gold rush, right? Everything's built on Ethereum, all these little tokens. I do like the fact that you... All right, so let me start with what I don't like. What I don't like is the momentum looks like it is changing. You are starting to get negative momentum on that MACD. Looks like you are rolling over, and you are potentially starting to build to swing down. What I do like is that you're continuously building up with these higher lows. But the thing is you could... this 200-day held, so you can see I'm kind of like battling myself on this, trying to really analyze this as best I can. Looking for important lines to the left, right? So an important value would be here, because you have multiple touches along this line. You have one here, 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 and you're already broken below that level. So not particularly liking that for the very short term. Does not mean that it won't do well long term. I just think potentially you could see it roll down to the 200, or even, you know, nothing wrong with this, potentially down to this 1500 level before continuing higher. You do have a higher high, which I do like. That's something that's nice. It's showing that it's continuing higher. Let's put a channel in here and potentially watch this live in this channel. Yeah, we'll keep our eye on that. US, I'm skipping. Link did something the past couple days. had a nice breakout, but then it looks like it started to lose that. And again, these MACDs aren't looking too great. They're looking like they're starting to roll over, and you're talking about you're in a very important range for Link. You're talking, you definitely want to stay above 7 cents ish. Yeah. XLM, we already looked at Dash. I don't give a shit about Dash. Atom, we liked Litecoin. Most of these are the same exact thing. I just wanted to take a look. See if we can spot any juicers. BNB, I don't like that. Just, yeah, nothing looking great. Yeah, so I guess next stream I'm trying to get the coin market cap list on here so we can take just a quick look at some of these. But if you do watch this either after or whenever, just feel free to leave some coin requests or stock requests in the chats there or the comment section. That way I can look at some other ones, maybe see what you guys are looking at too, because otherwise you end up looking at much the same stocks. Like you always end up looking at the ones that you know, and you know, all the things that are outside of your peripheral vision you don't end up looking at. So yeah, feel free to leave them in the comments for me. That'd be fantastic. This one's looking great. The only thing I don't like about it is that you're at freaking highs, but it's not all-time highs. And this is a fertilizer company, so okay, I'm gonna go on that note. Till next time, later.